So about 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, I got diagnosed with autism. It's always something I have suspected that I could have. It makes sense to why I've got diagnosis. I mean, it's why I sought out a diagnosis. And it's just now me trying to reckon with what does my life mean now that I have this diagnosis, and how do I help myself? I mean, for a while I thought I was autistic. It's been suggested to me plenty of times, and it has been like really affirming that like there's something wrong with me, but there's something different about me, and I'm not crazy or defective. It is literally just who I am and the way my brain processes information. There was initially a sad part when getting the diagnosis, because I was like, oh my god, I think maybe if I got diagnosed earlier, or if these traits were looked out in women from a younger age, I maybe would have had more help and maybe went through less awful things. But I've got the information now, and a lot of people don't get diagnosed till much later in life. So yeah, and it makes sense. It makes so much sense to so many things that have happened in my life and the comorbidities that I have. But I mean, that could be another video, whatever the hell, why I thought I was autistic. But now I've got to figure out ways to not burn out as an autistic person. How do I best survive in this world, which is often of extreme demands for even a neurotypical person, but a person who processes the world differently? How do I find my own adjustments and even a sense of compassion for myself? I'm honestly at this stage where I don't entirely know what to do. I've literally just been ill from like cold and sickness, but I can feel myself burning out, and I need rest, but sometimes I find that hard to achieve. I don't know really what balance is sometimes, especially in the situation I'm in now. I'm having to work 2 jobs, maybe a third even, to do my masters, and how much that's a strain for a neurotypical person. How's this going to look like on me as a neurodivergent? Maybe I'd thrive weirdly in the pressure, but at some point I will crash and burn, like in most careers I have had, or jobs I've had. Often it starts off really positive, and then I think if it's especially customer facing or is extremely boring, I start to dwindle, and I start to lose energy, and I start to become quite flat. And yeah, so this sort of career world is something that I'm gonna have to try and navigate, or figure out what kind of careers will be best suited to me. I mean, I'm interested in the arts, as seen in my videos before, but like, how does this work? Especially so much of the arts has networking, which is quite draining. How does this all work? I'm hoping I can rely on like the genius stereotype of an artist, but I'm not sure I'm even that much of one. But yeah, but now it's also trying to reframe what certain life goals look like, or certain time pressures you put on yourself. I mean, this links to queer temporality as well, and how queer people experience time differently. But I think a similar thing is how neurodivergent people there's often overlap with queerness experience time differently too. And how certain milestones might be more difficult or harder for me to achieve, or even reach, or I might never reach, or I might do things in a different order to maybe neurotypical people. It's trying to understand that. Again, I don't know what the plan is. I kind of want a structured plan to tell me like, this is what you can do to help your life now that you know that you're autistic. But I feel like it's not always the clearest advice, but I'm trying to just research and understand. But I know sort of a major component is like having compassion and knowing that you just can't compare yourself. It's just something I've struggled with. Always compared myself, always wanted to be the best, always obsessed about being the best, always had to be the specialist. Even though I'm interested in a lot of things, I always felt like I had to be the best at all those things. And to sort of like let that go is kind of scary for me. And it's probably where I got a lot of my self-esteem and identity from. And sometimes I feel like I don't know who I am outside of achievements or what I could do in the world. Like, being Orla isn't enough. But it's something I'm trying to unlearn, and maybe the acceptance of an autism diagnosis will actually help me a bit. Will actually let me go, oh, this is me, and I'm okay. I'm not okay, but it's how I function. Yeah. I just feel like this is probably the wrong time to be diagnosed now that I have all these pressures on me. I should probably inform someone that I got diagnosed. I mean, the sort of team for my university, like, no, there's neurodivergence-ishness, but not the official diagnosis, so we'll see. But yeah, it's just, I keep watching videos of like women who are like diagnosed and like finding so much similarity in their lives and my lives, and how I felt so defective, and I felt like even sort of bare minimum human things that people should be able to do are actually so hard or not sustainable for a long time. Going back to the trajectory of my life, it's kind of figuring out, because I crave stability, but I hate being controlled, but I want creativity, but give me some routine. And trying to find all those options and navigate that, and also what aligns with my values. I find it so hard to like work for something or do something that I don't believe in or align with. I think if I don't care, it's really hard for me to feel motivated, or I feel depressed about the work. Even the places I do care about, sometimes I'm just not in the right framework, or if like I'm not doing the correct positioning or the correct angle of where, I don't know, I feel like if I feel like I'm not fulfilling my full potential, it causes stress. And I felt like I could never verbalize this for a long time until recently. You have to spend so much time at work, and I was always cognizant of that. I spent so much energy at work. I mean, my old jobs, I would go to work and I'd like come back and collapse of exhaustion because I was so tired from the sort of stimulation of it all. So that's something I've got to navigate, because before maybe I had longer journeys to work. Maybe I've got to work in a sort of work from home combination, but also feel like I'm involved in the world and have purpose. I don't know. This is just me rambling now, but I need to reckon with a lot of things with autism. Not only career, but career seems to be a big component, because that seems to be the focus of my life for some reason. Obviously, it affects relationships. It affects just how I process the world and how I enjoy life, and it's kind of making me realise like what I need in life and what I need in a lifestyle, and what sometimes you don't have to go with what everyone else wants or what everyone else needs or what you should want. You've got to follow what makes you comfortable, and sometimes I don't really know what makes me comfortable, and obviously not getting too reliant on being comfortable as well, because I like pushing myself, but sometimes these situations cause me a lot of distress, and I don't know, sometimes I'm not sure if it's always worth the distress for the sake of pushing comfort levels that far out, or it's about trying to find the best combination of things that suit my needs and the needs of people around me and what I want to do in life. And I can also recognise that can change. But yeah, this autism diagnosis explains so much, and again, it's something I've always suspected, but it's actually nice to have some confirmation. And I need to do more research into it, especially for women. So anyway, yeah, comment if you want any other videos on this recent adventure or realisation of mine.